Hi there, boys, girls, and everybody outside and in between. It's a new month, which of course means new featured games. Now the theme for this March is going to be marching. Combat is very prevalent in gaming, and I wanted to have a little more focus with the theme this month. So all of these featured games are going to have units on a board that you are going to move to other places on the board, hence marching. And we're going to start off with an updated system on a classic, Risk Legacy. Essentially, everybody knows Risk already. You have your country and your army, and you're trying to take over the world. This might not have been a great choice for this point in time. What makes Risk Legacy different is that every time you play the game, you're going to make permanent changes to the board, to the pieces, to something about the game itself. So every time you play it after that, it's going to be different. Now, I don't know if you can see, but my copy here is unopened. I have not played this yet, and I am very excited for when I can finally get this on the table and experience the storytelling on top of the combat of Risk Legacy. Next, we have Cry Havoc. This is a sci-fi strategy game that is heavily asymmetrical. It plays 2 to 4 players, and each player is going to have different abilities and different things they can do depending on which faction they are using. Some are more straightforward combat focused, some are more strategy based, some are more interested in intellect. And that brings another layer to this game where you have to mesh the preferred style of whatever faction you're using with your preferred playstyle. This is another one I have not been able to get onto the table yet, but from production to the uniqueness of the game to the ambition and the scope, this is one I'm very excited about. That is Cry Havoc. This next game is one of my favorites of all time. That is the Game of Thrones board game 2nd edition. This was actually one of the first games I got when I started board gaming as a hobby, and it is still in my collection. It is still one of my all-time favorites. In this, you are going to control one of the noble houses of Westeros, trying to take control of the Iron Throne. Throughout this game, you will be fighting players, making alliances with others, and breaking those alliances just as quickly and as frequently. You'll also want to bolster your own forces, consolidate power where you have it, and in this, it is actually an advantage to be seen as a threat on the board. This doesn't get played nearly as much as I would like it to, but it still remains very high on my favorites list. That is Game of Thrones. Up next is Kemet. In Kemet, you take on the role of Egyptian gods, vying for control over the lands of ancient Egypt. Something that's unique about the combat in this game is that it does not reward turtling. It does not reward you for playing defensively. You need to be aggressive in order to succeed. The abilities and powers that you can unlock throughout this game are very unique and specific to the theme of Kemet overall, and the miniatures are very high quality, at least in my opinion. It takes up a lot of table space, but it's always welcome when it's on there. That is Kemet. And the last game we are going to talk about this month is War of the Ring 2nd edition. This is a bear of a game for 2 players. I know it says 2 to 4, but it's really for 2. One player, the forces of shadow and darkness, and the other, the fellowship and the forces of light. Everything about this game screams epic. The story that it tells, the size of the game itself, the details and intricacies of your turn, the options that you have. This game can be a trial to learn and to play, but once you do, it is 100% worth it. I have and I've played other Lord of the Rings based games, and none of them compare to how true this is to the feeling of the story itself. A truly grand strategy game, and one that will always leave you with your own stories to tell. That is War of the Ring. And now, time to organize. And those are the featured games for this month. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments, let me know some of your favorite combat-focused games. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.